In this video, we'll try to understand what are aggregate functions, what is the use of group by clause, and how to use the having syntax. You can see we have a very simple table here which has country name, population and year. Okay, so you can see we have India, and for the year of 1990, India had the population of 1000. It's just a hypothetical figure. We have Nepal, and for 1990 Nepal had 200 population. For the year of 1991, India had 1500 population. Now let's say that you want to go and find out total population across India, Nepal and Sri Lanka. Okay, so you want a total of all the population across all these countries. So what you can do is that you can go and use one aggregate function here called as sum. So you can say here sum population, and if you execute this, you will get the total population across all the countries. Now this sum is nothing but it's an aggregate function. And in the same way, let's say that you want to find out the maximum population. Okay, so you can say here max of population, and let's say if you also wish to see the minimum population, so you can say mean. So these are all aggregate functions. So this is max. In the same way, I can use here mean and population, right? So if I fire this now, you can see I have three fields here. The first one which actually shows the total population, the second one shows the maximum population, and the last one shows the minimum population. In the same way, if I wish, I can also see the average of populations across countries or across total number of entries. So for example, I can say here average population, right? And whenever I use these aggregate functions like average, it is very important to also look at what is the number of count. So again, there is count is again one more aggregate function here. So this will give us the total number of records. It will give us total number of records. Okay, so if I now execute this, so you can see that the second last column is nothing but it's the average, and this average is spanned across 7 records. Now there are a lot of ready-made aggregate functions which are given by SQL Server. So in order to see that, what you can do is go to your database. For example, my database currently is personal details. You can see that there is a node here called as programmability. Expand that, and you can see there is something called as system functions here. Expand that, and then go and expand the aggregate functions node here. So you can see that we have already used average, we have used max, we have used mean, we have used count, we have used sum. You can also see that there are lots of other ready-made aggregate functions here. For example, standard deviation, grouping, count big, checksum, etc. So I'll not go in details of all of these aggregate functions here, but I have covered very important ones like sum, max, mean, average and count. So in case you wish to experiment with other aggregate functions, what you can do is you can start using them, and when you move your mouse right, you can see there's a small tooltip here which actually tells you what that aggregate function does. For example, if you look at stdev, it actually says that it actually gives you a standard deviation of all the values which are given in that table. Okay, so I'll not be covering the other aggregate functions, but if you wish, you can try to experiment them and try to see that how you can use them. Right. Now this is good. We can use aggregate functions and we can display data on the screen. So that's nice. But now let's say that I want to go one step further. For instance, you can see that by using the sum aggregate function, we can display the total population across all the countries. But let's say that you want to see this population country wise, or you want to see this population grouped country wise. So for that, what you can do is you can say here country name. So you can say here country name, and we can say, okay, display this sum grouped by country name. So by using this group by clause, what will happen is it will display this sum as per India, as per Nepal and as per Sri Lanka. So if I go and execute this query over here, you can see how he's showing me total population grouped as per country. So you can see that he's showing me, okay, India has 4,500, Nepal has 1,200. So in other words, by using this group by clause, you can logically group what you call, your aggregate function data, into proper logical groupings. You can also add more groups to the group by clause. For example, if you remember, we had something called as year also. So I can say here, okay, group by the, group the sum by country name as well as year. So I can say group by country name and year. So if I execute this, now it shows me sum of population, by country as well as year. Now one golden rule of group by clause is that, whatever columns you want to go and display in the select statement other than the aggregate function, should be a part of group by. For example, if I do not include, if I want to display my year, right, on the select, it has to be a part of group by. If I don't do that, and if I go and fire this select statement, it will say that this year is invalid because it is not contained in the aggregate function or in the group by clause. So in other words, whichever columns you want to display here should be a part of group by clause. Okay, so either they are a part of the aggregate function, or they should at least be a part of the group by clause. So if I want to go and display here year, then year should be a part of my group by clause also. Now many times you would also like to go and filter records, depending on aggregated values. For example, let me go and just remove this year for now. Let's say we are seeing sum, as per country. Okay, now many times what you would like to do is you would like to say, okay, I want to go and display records whose population is greater than 1000. Okay, so what many of our SQL friends can think about is where sum of population is greater than 1000. This is how we normally write syntaxes, right? But if you execute this, right, you can see we have got an error over here. It clearly says that aggregate value cannot appear in the where clause. So in other words, we cannot use the where clause to filter aggregate values. So for that, what we have to do is we have to use the having clause. So we have to say here having sum greater than 1000. So you can now see that Sri Lanka has been excluded, from our record set, and we are only seeing India and Nepal. In simple words, whenever you want to go and filter, as per the aggregated values, you cannot use a where clause. You have to use the having clause. Right. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. In this video, we tried to see what exactly are aggregate function. Then we saw how group by adds more value to the aggregate function. And then we also saw that how we can go and filter records of the group by clause by using the having keyword. Thank you so much. Now, whatever video you have seen, right, is just a glimpse of what we have done. So in case you are interested in our video package, you can go to our site, that is www.questpond.com. You can call on this number and you can ask the complete DVD package what we have. So in this DVD package, what we have done is basically we have covered almost everything what a .NET developer wants. So right from basics of ASP.NET, Object-Oriented Programming, SQL Server, to new technologies like WCF, Silverlight, Link, Azure, Entity Framework. We also have UML, architecture, estimation, project management. There is a complete invoicing project end-to-end which is covered, so that you can get a better feel of how to actually create projects in a systematic manner. We have covered server products, both for SharePoint 2007 as well as for 2010. We have a lot of best practices video on SQL Server, etc. So this complete package, you can get from www.questpond.com if you're interested, and you can call on this number and you can ask for the rates. It's a very decent rate what we have. In the same way, as compared to the videos, we also have one more product with us, that is our interview question books. So we have different kinds of interview question books, right from .NET interview questions to SQL Server interview questions, SharePoint interview questions, BizTalk interview questions, etc. So in case you are interested in the books part, you can call on these numbers as per your location. So you can see these numbers on the board at this moment. So I hope that you keep enjoying the videos, you keep seeing our site, and I hope that you gain more knowledge. Thank you very much.